been talking a lot of Sixers Celtics today, and but this has been a debate. I will say that Jalen started a while ago. We want to talk about it right now on the show. In a game chock full of promising young players, you got one lottery pick sitting on the bench. Markelle Fultz struggled all year. People calling it the yips. Got a DMP in game one against the Celtics. And then on the other side of the court, the guy that basically he was essentially traded for is Jason Tatum, who's now played 40 minutes, put up 28 points, and helped his team to a game one victory. Obviously, we're all rooting for Fultz. Nobody's saying anything bad there, but we just heard Dr. J even say that Tatum should have been the number one pick.
Did we hear that?
That was big.
I don't know anything, but I know news, okay? And that was news when Dr. J said Jason Tatum should have been the number one overall pick. That's a headline tomorrow in the Philadelphia Daily News, no matter what.
But it's right, obviously, and it's not hindsight for some of us because I was screaming and yelling for Tatum. But let's put that aside for a minute because the question's not just about him. The question is about the overall future of the Eastern Conference. There's going to come a time when LeBron James doesn't own the East anymore. Maybe it's happening as we speak. And so Jalen has been pushing on me for the longest time the idea that the team with the brightest future in the East is
the Boston Celtics.
And I've been arguing with him that it's Philly.
This is the question, Sal, by the way.
And I know we might have to lock up about this one, but here's what you got to take into account.
I need a better argument than just the Boston Celtics.
All right, so
let's go.
So let's start at the top. Danny Ainge. He actually traded back and acquired a first round pick.
There's no question that he's been very good at talent acquisition, but you got the potentially two most dominant players in the division and maybe in the conference for a long time in Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. They complement one another. Simmons, I can tell you, the guy is fearless and strong, triple doubles all over the place. And Embiid, low post player who can also shoot the three. So you got two. They're missing a third piece right now, for sure.
Say that again?
They're missing a third piece for sure.
Okay.
But it'll come around. You got those two dominant pieces.
And they have cap space to go out and get one if they want to sign one.
So the third piece is coming.
So first off, we're having this conversation because they both have terrific young players. So it's not a slight to either squad.
No.
We're saying that both of these teams should be in the Eastern Conference Finals for the foreseeable future. So let's put that out there. The reason why I say Boston is because, number one, people forgot how good Kyrie Irving is. And he's not performing.
I don't think people forgot. I don't know why you keep saying that. We haven't forgotten.
The other thing is Gordon Hayward is really good, too. He's a 20-point scorer. He's going to come back. That's an all-star backcourt. That's something I want to look towards. Also, Brad Stevens.
Well, Brad Stevens is a key point here because in that game, what Brad Stevens did defensively against the Sixers and has done all year long. Remember, the Sixers averaged 110 points a game. Against the Celtics, they averaged all year long just 95. And you look at that game, what did they do? They just cut off the dribble pass, the dribble handoff pass. They interrupted screens, blew up screens. They did everything that they've done all year long, and Brett Brown did not have an answer. And he better have an answer for that tonight.
Can we throw some numbers up there? Because you guys did mention the fact that they've got cap space, that they're missing a third part. We always talk about how young the Sixers are, when in reality, the Celtics are actually a little over a year younger. So there's a plus on the Celtics side. But to be fair here and talk about financial flexibility, Philly's got an edge. $44 million less on the books next season, which obviously gives them a lot of room to play with bringing someone else in. And then you have this. They still have a chance to improve in the draft. They've got a lot of opportunities right here. Each has 3 projected first-round picks over the next 2 years. Boston could even have as many as 5, depending on how it plays out.
So Jalen, I will give you credit because you have made this argument convincingly with me for weeks, mostly off the air. We've been arguing about this when the conventional wisdom is Philly is the team to watch. The only reason I will stay with the Sixers, and you tell me if this doesn't hold in the NBA anymore, is if you're throwing all of the players on both teams into a draft and you're picking them, I think the Sixers have the first 2 picks.
Correct.
They have each of the first 2 picks. And to me, that kind of ends the discussion as impressive as the rest of the debate is.
Because you have the best 2 players, that doesn't mean you have the best team. And when I'm talking about a future, you got to look from the top down. The guy at the top just traded back and got a first-round pick to take Tatum, who scored 29 points, and the guy the Sixers took got a DMP. Brad Stevens.
That's big.
They were the number 1 seed in the league in the East last year with Isaiah Thomas as their point guard. And we've seen what has happened to him with his injury and all of that, how that's transpired. Also, the development of Jaylen Brown, the development of Jason Tatum is ahead of schedule. Also for Philly, Joel Embiid has injury issues. And this was the first time he was able to play back-to-back seasons. I hope he can stay healthy and play 20 years, but I'm just saying these are the things you take into account when you talk about the future.
Very good argument. There's no question about it.
The
But
Embiid-
I think
the Embiid-
if I'm starting a team, I want to start a team with Simmons and Embiid.
Assuming, and the caveat in that is the concern about Embiid. We've seen so many great big men whose careers have been derailed, cut short, never quite meet
Give me
their
the
promise.
percentage of LeBron James coming to the Philadelphia 76ers. Percentage.
23.
Well, that was very
23%.
specific. Where,
Very
did you just
specific number.
Pull that out of.
He asked me a question, I gave him an
23.
answer.
Does it actually? I'm going to say the most
What about
ridiculous.
23 and a half? Can I get a half?
I'm going to make the most ridiculous statement in the world. Is it possible that the Sixers are better off without him? That the reality is it would stunt the growth of Ben Simmons to take the ball out of his hands as much as would happen if LeBron James was on that team?
No, because Ben Simmons has got to learn to shoot. He's got to learn to make that an option in his game.
Yeah, but he's not going to go from not making any threes this year to giving the ball to LeBron and all of a sudden making 100 next season.
Hey, father's child.